Hi, my name's Margaret. I'm the creator of card readings. Now, this topic is about how to receive a good reading and get the right reader for you. There's a lot of types of different readers. Like we all know about people seeing, hearing, feeling things, but it's a bit beyond that. Now, I'm going to give you some guiding rules with this. If you got a reader asking you a lot of questions, like you say to them, I want to pick up my son who died 5 years ago. That's probably all you need to pass on to them. You don't need to pass on to them the age, what the person looks like, or what the personality is like, where they live. That kind of stuff they should know. If you're a true blue medium, you should know it. And if you don't know it, it's okay to say you don't know it, but you don't ask questions. As a reader, you don't ask questions. You should know these questions. Granted, I've done readings and 100% I got it wrong, but I didn't go out and say, I have to be right. And I'm lucky this person didn't have to pay for it, but you do get things wrong. And that's it. And it's okay to get things wrong. And if you get it wrong, admit it. Don't make a big song and dance about it. As a reader, you do get things wrong. And if you can't pick up on another person, say it. It's okay. Don't make a big song and dance about it. But as a reader, don't ask questions. You should know these answers. You might ask one question, maybe, like say if someone said, I'm thinking about moving in the house, and you might want to say something along the lines, when are you thinking of this? And they might say in 2 weeks' time. That's only one question. That's okay. But if you say, then you say to them, what does the house look like? What's the street? What's the number? That's too much information they're giving to you. You should not have to ask them these questions. These are the questions you should now pass on to the person that you're reading to, the client. All right? And that's the thing with the client. If you're the client, don't give them the answer. They should know these answers. Or don't ask. I remember one year I done a reading for a person, and I got China, and I got a lady who lived in China, and I said to her, do you know someone in China? Because I'm getting a lady who's in Chinese, but I'm getting the country China. That's okay. You ask one question, it's a yes or no question. If I get it wrong, it was okay, but I got it right. But that's the thing. You just, if you know the answer, you know it. If you don't, you don't. That's a reader. And that's the thing with the client. The client shouldn't have to give you questions. So if the client said no, you should know this. Yeah, the person should know it. I should know it. So yeah. So that's the basic thing. If you were a client and you came in and you said, I'm not sure about this person. You read about a person. Say you came to me and you said, I don't know about Margaret, and I want to know about a house I move in 2 weeks' time. And you're not sure. Pick a question that you know. Like say, so you have 5 kids to say. So say you have 5 kids. One of your kids has autism, right? So say that's it. And you might say to the person, look, what about this child? He's repeating himself. What do you think? Now, from that, I should be able to answer the question properly. And say, I think you might need to go to the doctor. I think he has a disability, something like along that line. You might not want to say autism because you might, well, for me, I probably would say autism because I have a background in disability. But if you didn't, to say, go to the doctors, I think this child might have a disability. You're right, yeah, and you'll be right. And this person, if as a client, you might want to go on with it. So you know it's right, yeah. But if you, as a client, and you came to me and said, I have 5 kids. One of my kids, I'm a bit concerned about him. He's repeating himself. And I'd say to you, your child, just doing it for attention. You know it's not attention, and you know it's autism. So you think, yeah, you're not the right person for me. And you, as a client, you have the right to ask for your money back and go and see someone else who you know that answer already. So yeah, that's one. That's 2 things I want to pass on to you. But at the same time, there's a number of different types of psychics and mediums. One, it's called, well, I'm going to use me as an example. I predict the future and I can see things around you. So if you came to me and you said, you know, I said, oh, your child has autism, that was right. But and then you came to and you say to me, I have a house, I looked at it, I'm a bit concerned about it, I think I'm moving in, what do you think? I can tell you what you should do or not do. Not in you have to do it, but more kind of guide you through it, yeah. Yeah, so that's one thing. And I can say to you, I can see you with another 2 more kids in this house. You might stay there for 5 years and move to another house. That's okay, yeah. But then you might not want that. You might say something like, I want to, like, they call it everything of truth. So you go to a psychic medium and you say, my mother passed away, can you pick her up? So what they normally do with this, where you have a person, and it's pretty much a John Edwards thing actually, and they'll say, I see a lady, I'm going to use my mum here, I see a lady, she's got black hair, shorter than you, big round bill, and I see a young child sitting in her lap, her lap, and I think her name is Crystal, and Crystal was a niece, yeah. Now, my mum passed away about 18 years ago, something like that, anyway. So I can say, yeah, that, and say things like, what does my mum say, this and that. So that's a living of proof, because she sees things that related to me and my family, yeah. So that's a living of proof. So they don't tell you the future, but they kind of tell you, yeah, your mum's with you, kind of thing, yeah. So that's another thing. And there's other people, psychics, where they can home pin. Like, say you came to a psychic and you say, I lost my key at my house, I can't find it. And I will say, as a psychic, I say, do you have a little cabinet with a window in the middle of it with crystals around it? And I might say yes, and I say it's in the first middle cabinet. I got one, I'm just looking at it if you want to know what I'm looking at. Yeah, so you can say, so they would do that, they can home pin with your keys or your money or whatever you lost or what you're looking for. Yeah, they can home pin it. And that's where psychic who help the police, that's what they're pretty much doing. They're kind of doing that, or they're hoping with a crime. Like they can see things like my perfect example was years ago, I picked up Jane McClosk's family house that her mum and dad got murdered in, and she got kidnapped from. At that stage, I didn't know it was that. I thought it was related to John Edward, who might have had a heart attack. That's the whole situation of it. If you want to know more about this dream, it's in my Facebook. But yeah, so that's a reading itself. If I was doing it right and if I knew it properly, I probably could have passed it on to the police and leave it at that. But I didn't know back then. So that's another thing as psychics do. They kind of home pin what's happening at that stage for the police. And there's a lot of police things like that. The other thing is, some psychic can tell you things way the past, like they kind of in before you were born, maybe around your mother or father's time, they can tell you things like, my example would be your dad's one check, he just got out of the World War II thing. That's what my dad did. So it was way before I was born. So if someone said that to me, I thought, yeah, you can tell the past. So yeah. And then you got your other psychics where they can tell you your health issues. I can do that. And where they have home pin like I had a young lady, it wasn't reading, I just picked it up on the way to work, where I picked up a person had a sore on her leg, and I'm walking to work and I got this really bad pain. Don't know where it's coming from. I know it's not me because I didn't get it. I didn't have it when I was coming out of the house. So I knew. So that's another thing a reader can do. So yeah, these are pretty things I want to tell you, because a lot of people, if you probably know, are very con artists, very much a con artist. Like, I had a young lady, it wasn't a reader, but she said to me, have you watching something like Madness or something? And I said, and she asked me all these questions. I said to her, I'm going to call her Joe. And I said, Joe, what are you doing, Joe? Kind of thing. And she turns to me and trying to be a psychic. I'm thinking, that's not how you be a psychic. You should, as a psychic, you know the answer to it. You don't need to ask because you know it. I think she just got it from the show, but that's how she has some issues of her own. So yeah, so if someone does that to you, you know. And that's the thing too with readers. Think about how they're getting it from you. Like, I would call myself a realistic psychic. The reason I say that is where I won't take everything as a psychic thing. If I don't know, if I was I've gone to a job and a few weeks ago my boss said to me, I want you to clean the floor. And 3 weeks later, I remember I cleaned the floor, and my boss came in, says it's done. Okay, I must be psychic. No, I remember my boss saying that to me. So yeah, stuff like that. Or if you think you saw something on the side, well, for me, I think I see something on the side, like a spirit, I think it might be a spirit, I will actually look around me, see what's around me, and if I know someone else is in that building around me, more likely, I know it's that person. Like, I would really think about it. I had a young man came to me, he said he had a crystal, I think he had it on the neck bit. He was doing meditation, and he said it came down to his tummy. He does have a big tummy, not that big, but it's big. And he said to me, something made it move, and I just looked at him and went, do you think I'm stupid or something? You moved it yourself. And that's how I work. I don't take everything as a psychic thing. I'm pretty good at body language and communication. So if I had a person came to me and I feel like this person's annoyed at something, and I could see it in their body language, and I would say to them, you're annoyed at something. What you're annoyed at? And they go, you're psychic. And I know, I'm just looking at your body language. If it was psychic, I would know it, but I was more likely with home ping on the first thing I would like see around me. You got the bottle and just someone's annoyed at something. So when you get a reading, really think about what you look like, where the person's getting it from, what you're wearing even. Like a perfect example, I didn't pick this up beforehand, but I went to a place. No, wore red. No, red's grounded. And I think I wore orange. Orange creative and sexuality. Now, I didn't realise this at this stage, but later I realised she said something about sexuality. I can't remember where's this coming from. And then I looked up chakras, I think, chakras, and I realised orange is sexuality and red is grounded. And then when I heard that, I went, yeah, he's just looking at my colours, what I'm wearing. So really think about where the information's coming from. Like, you might be in a perfect example of you. I'm going to use mind, body, and spirit. I don't know if they do this or not, but I'm just going to use mind, body, and spirit because it's a big place. If you go to Sydney, Brisbane, or Melbourne, they're big places. It's pretty big. It's like Melbourne, Sydney, they have it twice a year, and there's always a lot of people there. If you have a person just walking around with you, you don't know them, but they kind of hang around you where you're going, and you're saying something like to your friend or your sister, and they might be overhearing it. And I'm going to say Joe. I don't know a Joe who does reading, so I'm just going to use the Joe. And Joe's a reader. He's a psychic medium, and you think, I'll go and do a reading with Joe. And everything that you said to this person, your friend, your sister, whatever, Joe repeats stuff. And maybe reword it a little bit, you know, and if you remember it and you pick it up, you know this person's a fake. So really think about, when you do a reader, think about what kind of reading you want. And I will only 2 people I went to as a reader in Mind, Body and Spirit. Both of them really good. One I wasn't sure was going to go to, but his name is John Paul. I think he does back readings. And anyone who knows me, I like art. That's why I chose him. That's why I did choose him. And the first reading he did for me was so accurately right. I was very impressed. He said something to me that I didn't know at that stage. So, yeah, and it was true. At the end, it was true. The other person, I did what I said. I asked her a question related to my job. I knew the answer to it. She got it wrong, but the answer she gave me was right. And it sounds weird, like the answer was wrong in the sense of the information I had with this answer. But she home-pinned it on this person I knew at this job. And everything that she said about this person was accurately right, like to the point. I can home-pin. I said, that was so right about Joe, you know. So, yeah, you get people like that too, where they might be wrong about the answer, but they give you another answer, and it's to you, it's right. And so they're both really good readers, but you're not going to get that all the time. And I want to put this out there too, because I have a lot of people say, how do you get a good reader? This is one of the reasons, things that I put there. But make sure, you know, you go to a place where you're okay with it. And I say this more to I'm going to use this as an example. I remember years ago, back in about 2005, I would say, I had a dream about a show. It's called Sunwise, and the 2 hosts, David and Mel, they're in bed together, just in bed together. And I remember waking up to it, and I think, don't want to go this is not right, yeah. It's more on another YouTube if you want to watch it. But yeah, I'm thinking, this is not right, I don't want to go there. So don't say anything to anyone, because I think this has got nothing to do with me, it's got nothing to do with anyone. 2 days later, there's an ad-on for Sunrise, and yeah, Mel and Dave was in bed. And I was lucky enough, I used my common sense, privacy, I don't want to go there. But if I did, and I put that on Facebook, I was just on Facebook, and how much people get in trouble for it. It's going to hurt the family. It's going to hurt people. So if, as a reader, really be careful where you're doing your reading and what's the order that you got. So if you got, like, let's say you're going to use I'm going to use someone like John Edward, because I got it in my head now, because Friday tonight and tomorrow he's in Melbourne, so that's why I got him in my head. Yeah, I'm not going to go and see him. I was thinking about it, but no. So use John Edwards, and this was an actual affair with 2 other people, and he put that across the audience. Imagine how much trouble he will get in for that. How much trouble he'll get for it. Particularly, just about who it is, how much trouble you get in for it. The same with YouTube and Facebook. You wouldn't put it on Facebook or YouTube. Hey, you know, everyone will watch this. So really be careful where you do your reading. If you have, say, it was a couple, both of them having an affair, to say, and they're happy with the world to know. That might be okay, but unless you got the approval for it, I just want to do it. So yeah, I know certain thing about well-famed people, but I won't even go down that well with people because I think it's too privacy. Yeah. So that's the other thing. As a reader, think about who and where you're doing your readings from. When I do readings on Facebook, I do it 2 ways. It might be private, and I say whatever, and I put it in the inbox, and just put it in the inbox, and that's it. If it's on Facebook where everyone sees it, I just do a genuine reading. I don't go down the road and say, you're having an affair with Joe, and you're going to have Joe's baby. I don't put things like that, or you're going to get murdered in 5 years' time. I don't say stuff like that, because the world's going to hear it. There's going to be issues with it, yeah. So really think about who you're reading for and what's around that person and what's around you. So if you have private readings, you pretty much can say whatever to that person because it's just that person. You maybe another person with it, but the other person with that person, they know each other. So you really think about who you're reading for and who's hearing it, you know. That's the person I want the whole world to know. Where I watch some of these TV psychic people, one specific person, I won't say who, and this person loves everything about it, the whole life about it, very detailed stuff, and I just feel it's something that you don't need to share with the world. You can do a reading for someone. It doesn't have to be personal reading for the world to hear. Like, yeah. So I would think about that when you do a reading. And that's the same with the client. If you have a client if you're the client, think about what kind of reader is it? Is it a person who's going to blubber across the whole world because you're in that environment? Not because it's a private reading, but you're in that environment, like John Edwards. Or do you want a one-on-one private reading? So you really have to think about it. So, yeah. And you see with certain platform readers, like John Edwards, they will hold information back because it's too much information for everyone to hear. And that's a good reader, actually. If you have someone who's picking up stuff from you and they don't want to share it with the world, that's what they would do. So yeah, that's another thing you need to look at it. And this is pretty much why I'm doing this video, YouTube channel thing and Facebook. So I think you need to know who you got it. Just like proof of evidence, you probably should go to a spiritual church or a spiritual shop, because they will have that information for you. But if you just want a genuine reading, you don't care if it's the future or proof of evidence, that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter where you go, but you want the world to know. Yeah, so that's the same with the reader. And that's a good thing to do. If you have a good reader and that reader knows a lot of psychics around them, like I must admit I don't know many psychics around me, but if I did, and you turn to me and say to me, I want to know about my mother. She passed a few years ago. No, and I might say to you, sorry, I don't pick her up. But I know a good reader, Lisa Williams, they say, you can go to Lisa Williams, she might be able to do it for you. That's a good reader, because the meeting that they can't pick it up, they're okay with it, because they might have a bad day. We all have bad days, but they recommend you to someone, so they're not just doing this just for the money and just for the fame. Yeah, so that's another thing. If you're a reader and you're not picking it up, be honest with them. Be honest with your client. You're just not picking up on this person. You might have a bad day or some reason you're just not picking up on this person. Say it. And if you can, recommend them to someone else, because they appreciate it more. And you know what? 9 out of 10, and I do this a lot with whatever I do. If a person's honest with me, I will always go back to that person, because they're honest, they're open with it, and they're not going to get it. But you never know, next time I might want to pick me up, my mother up next time. So that's pretty much what I want to say. But yeah, really think about, just not with your clairvoyance and clairvoyance, like you see in hearing things, but think about what type of readers you want. Because look at the simple, another one, you got entertainment readers, psychic people. If you ever, I think it's the X Factor. There's a guy and his wife. If you want to watch it, I will look into it, because they just do it. It's an entertainment thing, and if that's what you want, and you want someone for a party, perfect person. But if you want facts and that, I wouldn't go to these people. So really think about that kind of stuff, because there are places, organisations out there now where you can have party readers, party psychics now. So think about what type of reading you want, and do you want the world to know, or do you want a private reading? Do you want an entertainment reading, or do you want a prefer evidence reading? Stuff like that, and you'd be right. And if you're not 100% right, like I said, just ask a question that you know, and you know from that answer, because some people do specific reading, and you pick this up before, where you have just your tarot card readings, your angel readings, stuff like that. So if you want just an angel reading, you have to look into it. You have to look for people who just do angels reading. So always think about that too in the environment as a reader. So as a reader, think about your client, and think about what kind of readings that you do. And if you can't be sure, say it. You know, your client will appreciate it. Yeah. As a client, think about what type of reading you want, where you want your reading, and do you want the whole world to know about it? Yeah, so if you want a private reading, or do you want a group reading, whatever. Because I think with spiritual churches, they do both. They do private readings and a group readings. So yeah, think about what you want. If you're not sure about a reading, ask a question, and you probably get an answer from that question. Make sure it's a question that you know, because if you ask a question that you don't know, it's not going to work. So ask a question that you know, and look at how they're receiving it. Are they just reading you by your body language, or what you're wearing, or are they actually picking something up from you? So that's the things I want to tell you about. I hope you'll enjoy this, and I hope this is useful. Yeah, and just think about these when you do a reading, when you get a reading, or if you're doing a reading. Yeah, and hope you had a good day. Yeah, enjoy. Tell me what you think. and hope this is useful. If you find it useful, just put it in a comment. Yeah, it's useful. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day.